Hey guys, and welcome back to the Tech Ed Explainer sessions. My name is Logan Sather from the Technical Education team at Web3 Foundation. Today, I'll be talking to you about what you can do with KSMs or dots. I'll be talking about both KSM and dot because at this moment, they both have the same utility on each of their respective networks. However, in the future, this might diverge. So, especially if you're watching this far in the future, be sure to check the Polkadot wiki for the most up-to-date information. Alright, so let's start with a quick refresher. Polkadot is a heterogeneous multi-chain under a single shared security umbrella. The core blockchain in this network is called the relay chain, as it relays messages between all of the connected parachains. The native currency of Polkadot is the dot. In comparison, Kusama is an early and unaudited release of the Polkadot code with a very different network culture. While Polkadot will likely be more steady and economically secure, Kusama is experimental and lower valued. Enterprise applications will want to deploy on Polkadot, while rough and scrappy startups would go for Kusama. However, much of the core design, including the basic architecture of the relay chain and parachains, exists separately on both networks. The native currency of Kusama is the KSM. Okay, so now that we've established the difference between the two networks, we can move on to how the native currency is used. For the rest of the time, I'll be referring to dots and Polkadot instead of KSM and Kusama. However, almost everything I say about the utility of dots also applies to the utility of KSM on Kusama. So dots serve 5 key purposes in the Polkadot network. Broadly speaking, these 5 categories are governance, staking, participation in parachain auctions, parathread auctions, and being used for transaction fees. Dots are used in the governance subsystem to vote on referenda, to second proposals, and to vote for counselors. The dots are the base representation of voting power. Unlike simple coin voting schemes, the number of tokens held in an account is not the only way that votes are tallied on Polkadot. Polkadot uses what's called conviction voting to tally the votes. Conviction voting means that voters can lock tokens and multiply the power of the tokens that they use to vote with. For example, let's say Alice has 10 dots, but Alice is a long-term holder of dots. On a particular referendum, let's say to increase the set of the validator size, the size of the validator set, Alice wants to use her 10 dots to vote. However, Alice is very convinced that increasing the size of the validator set is beneficial for Polkadot. So what Alice can do is choose to lock up her tokens for up to 64 weeks to get her vote multiplied by 6. So Alice's 10 dot vote can be tallied as if it were 60 dots. The second use case for the dot is staking. In order for a node to become a validator on the network, they must bond some dots in the staking subsystem. They do this because they need to have some kind of stake that can get slashed if they do something bad. Additionally, the same rule applies for any nominators who nominate the validators. They must also stake dots to participate in the staking system and gain rewards. The third use of dots is in participation for parachains and in the parachain auctions. So parachain auctions are the primary way that parachain slots are allocated to the community and to parachain teams. In order to make a bid in this auction, dots are required. Now, the mechanism of the auction is what's called a candle auction. And what this means is that the highest bid at a retroactively determined ending moment becomes the winner of that auction. Additionally, in the crowdfunding module for parachain slots, all the contributions that go toward a particular parachain campaign are denominated in dots. The fourth usage is in parathread auctions. So parathread auctions are different from parachain auctions. While parachain auctions are held for slots that last from anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, parathread auctions happen every block. Parathreads that are in the parathread pool will each submit a bid, and at each block, the parachains with the highest bids for that block are selected as winners and get their block included in the relay chain. The bids for the parathread auctions are also denominated in dots. The fifth major usage of the dot is to pay transaction fees. On the relay chain, all transactions must pay a fee relative to the weight, which is the amount of computation that is invoked by the transaction. This fee is denominated in dots. Likewise, any fees associated with the cross-chain transactions will also be payable in dots. These are the core usages of dots on the Polkadot platform. I hope you learned something today, and I'll catch you next time.